Oh, we have a panel discussion for the Corporate Brother web series. We're going to have a roundtable discussion at a square table.
Hi, Kharisma here for the roundtable discussion of The Corporate Brother. We have the entire cast here and the creative mind behind The Corporate Brother, Todd Inman. We have Joe playing the main character Bill. We have Christine playing Sue, Val playing Mr. Vincent, Angelo playing Raheem, and Paul playing Greg. So, first things first, we have to talk to the creator and find out how this whole idea came about.
Yes. So what happened is back when my early days in corporate America, I was, of course, functioning and so forth, trying to navigate my way through. And for me, I was a stand-up comic. That's where I started. And so as a stand-up comic, you find everything funny, even things which, kind of hurt or sting or you're embarrassed about at times, you find funny in it. And so what I decided to do, I said to myself, a lot of experiences I have in corporate America would really be funny to those who experience what I experienced, and they could relate.
Just being around this group for a very short amount of time, I can tell you guys have had a lot of fun on set, but can you kind of talk to me about character development and how you saw the characters prior to actually casting for The Corporate Brother and how you see them now?
Sure. So, Bill, Joe was the main character. I wanted someone who was friendly, to the camera. Mm-hmm. Someone who, if these things were said to him, which are off color, which can be considered insensitive, that he wouldn't fly off the handle, that he would maintain his humility, recognize that he still has to put food on the table so he can't act crazy at work. So I wanted somebody who could come across like that. Obviously someone who has had corporate experience, mm-hmm. someone who's well-spoken, certainly didn't want him to, be misconstrued as someone who wasn't educated. And then Sue was supposed to be the assistant to Mr. Vincent, sort of like the person to kind of keep him on his toes because he had like a clueless type of role. Val's character, was supposed to play that, clueless, disconnected from current reality, kind of, how can I say, just that old way of thinking. Where he had not really interfaced with a lot of African Americans, in his history. And so that was his character. Paul, his character is Greg. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, when I first wrote the character, I wrote him to be like a nerdy type of, butt up in the air, tight, wide, white guy, you know what I'm saying? That you see in the office, and he's this preppy guy who's never really been around black people. And he says these things that are very insensitive, to say the least. And Joe wants to kick his ass, right? Yeah. Or Bill's character. But it's funny though, when people actually saw Greg and Paul's portrayal, they were like, "Oh, he's like a down ass white guy." You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to be a brother. Angelo really came in as the mailroom guy, because originally we had a black janitor. Yes. And so the goal was always to have a black character to contrast with Bill being corporate. So this character was more from the streets. He just had a 9-to-5 job as a mailroom guy, but he didn't do anything politically correct. He didn't speak proper to the white coworkers. Mm-hmm. He said what was on his mind. He had a thing for Christine. And he made it obvious. So his character was just over the top.
Hey, shoe.
What did you guys as a cast think when you got that first script?
I was scared as heck. I had never done anything like that before, or having actual lines in just helping Todd out doing commercials. I didn't really have any lines. They were kind of just, bitten pieces in the background here and there. So That first time I got the script and I saw all these lines I had to memorize, and I was going to be on camera, and all these lights were shining on me. It was a little intimidating. But yeah, as the course of the seasons went on and the episodes, like we all became so much more comfortable with each other, working with each other, off each other. So it was kind of like a family, like growing as one.
And I have to ask you guys what your favorite episode is. I know it's going to be difficult to pick just one because they're so funny, but you can start.
I like the birthday party because when we arrived unannounced at this bar in Southwest Philly, and we were the people from the office showed up with little birthday hats on, and balloons, and it was a neighborhood place, and the reactions of the people when we came in,
priceless.
were wonderful. I hope they were exaggerated. I hope they were directed to act that way, but it was funny, and I really enjoyed that one.
My favorite episode was Guardian Angel, when Raheem plays Mr. Vincent's Guardian Angel. I like, this was so bizarre when I look back and watch the stuff that I was wearing. The dances were so 80s, and it was just like, it just took it to another place. So that was my favorite.
Todd, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, like, you know,
I mean,
like
they're all
your
your
children, like your
favorites.
kids,
I was just gonna
like
say,
your children.
My baby.
they're all your babies. We know they're your babies.
Yeah, but I will have to say and give Lawrence Greenberg and Pony TV a lot of credit because season 2 they came in and really upgraded our production quality. So you know, season 2 is a vast improvement in terms of production. So you know, I really liked a lot of episodes in season 2. I mean, I liked the writing in season 1, but it's just, you know, like I said, the production quality, because I was behind camera, wasn't as strong. Yeah, actually, you know, while they're talking about that, I have to give a big shout out to Blue Plate Minds. They actually allowed us to film in their office, and Melissa and Karen, I mean, anytime we needed to film theirs, they allowed us to film there.
Do you think as a cast, and also Todd, feel free to jump in, that Corporate Brother was before its time in terms of its potential to be a cult classic?
I personally think it was ahead of its time. It's funny that the show Blackish has come out since us. We started in 2011. That show hit last year, 2014. And the office component of that show is the Corporate Brother.
Yep.
You know, I mean, his experience, I mean, they have a Greg type character. They have a Mr. Vincent type character. You know? You know, they have a Raheem type character.
Right.
You know? And so it's just, it is the Corporate Brother expanded.
No, I agree. I was actually out with some friends of mine on Friday, and I was being introduced to some of their, you know, friends. And I'm like, you remember Joe? I was like, no, because my hair was cut. And he was like, the Corporate Brother. And they all started cracking up. And they were like, yeah, this other show bit off of it. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go down this discussion again. And sure enough, that whole Blackish thing came up. But I do think it was ahead of its time, although it's still relevant, you know.
Well, in terms of just overall, what are some of the lessons that you as a cast and you individually walked away with after participating in the Corporate Brother? And specifically to the non-minority cast members, how did you feel about being in situations where you'd be the only one? Because I feel like that's a theme that's very present in the Corporate Brother.
Well, the scene, the episode, the dream sequence, where it was sort of like a reversal of roles.
Right.
And that's the one where we really got to feel like we were the only one. You know, like life doesn't present me with that experience. And so I got to see what it was, you know, it's an imaginary circumstance. And so I really didn't get to feel how it was. But, you know, I got to play the part.
Right.
That's it.
Right. It was like playing like a not so nice opposite day.
I think for me it was more about like awareness, just like understanding that sometimes something that you might think is funny isn't taken the same way on the other end. And you know, you think you're joking around, you think you have a good relationship with someone like in an office setting or something. You say something, a little off color, but you're just haha. It's not taken the same way as you think it might be taken. So just awareness like that, just being aware of your situations and how you act and handle yourself in those situations.
What do you want the audience to walk away with after seeing The Corporate Brother?
Well, I certainly want the audience to walk away. I just want the impression to be made that we as a society can overcome race. You know, that we're all human beings at the end of the day.
So is there going to be a season 3 of Corporate Brother? Inquiring minds want to know.
Well,
right, cast?
That's
We
right.
do.
See?
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking.
That's what I'm here for, to ask the questions.
right. You know, right now, you know, we're really trying to attain funding because I personally want to do like bigger and better productions. You know, go out and do some awesome things, whether it's travel or have maybe some guest stars who, you know, have more of a celebrity.
If you're intrigued, you can find out more at www.corporatebrother.com.